All right, everybody, coming to the stage is the diva herself. Y'all give it up for Deborah Ware!
How's everybody doing out here tonight? I know we're looking outside, we're looking at the weather, it's kind of gloomy, but you know what? That's okay because we're inside and we're going to have a great time tonight. I would like to first start out by introducing my co-host for the night. I would like to call up Miss Abah, so Floetic. Everybody, let's give her a hand. All right. Okay, all righty. And then Mr. Tyrone. All right, everybody. So those are my two co-hosts, two wonderful people, and we're gonna get this show on the road. I know we're pretty late starting, but you know, due to the weather, things like that does happen. So I'm gonna open up the show tonight with a song that comes from my album that I have, Love Is Real, and I hope you enjoy it. He just didn't really care. How can I trust him with my heart? Even all he did was turn around and break my heart. Stop playing games with my heart. You're always doing things just to break. Belong to someone else. I trusted you with my heart, even when I knew that you would just turn around and break my heart. Stop playing games with my heart. You're always doing things just to break. Yes, it's real, but not again. Everyone, I want you to know, don't get this construed. This is not about my husband at all, not at all, okay? Not one bit. My heart was broken this week, and it's pretty hard to get over. But, you know, we all have to go through things to see the light of day. And I think that's what I've done. So I hope you enjoyed the show, everyone. We're going to make our transition now and move on with the rest of the show. Well, Mr. Andre, how you doing tonight?
Good evening. I think I'm doing better than you.
I know, but seeing your face, seeing your face, seeing Miss Belinda's face tonight, you know, Abah's face tonight.
We're here for you, Dee. We're here for you. We understand. We understand.
Yes.
And this is just another fact that people understand is that Deborah is human. So this just shows that she's human. That she goes through things, she has issues just like everybody else. And sometimes you expect people to always be the ray of sunshine, and when they're down, you know, kind of cast them out. And just she's showing you that she can hurt too. So let's keep her lifted up in prayer, and you definitely don't have to tell us nothing, because I don't even think we want to know. We just know that you're gonna be okay.
Right.
And you got us here.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, Abah.
Hi.
I didn't want to sound like I was just talking to Deborah.
She doesn't have her mic in her hand.
She said, I don't need that microphone.
I really don't.
All right, guys. Okay. Well, first of all, we have some great guests tonight. One of our guests is definitely in the house right now. And that is Mr. Metrop Music.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Metropolis, but
yes, definitely.
Cool
And
cool.
I know that he's going to give you guys a good show when he comes up tonight. He came a long way tonight. He was in that bad weather that's out there, but he still made it. So thank God he got here safe.
Thank you, man.
And
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay, all right. Our theme tonight, I'm going to tell you what that is, the theme question first before we even get to it, but so that everybody will know. And that theme topic tonight is, it's a question for all indie artists to ask themselves, and that is, what is something as an indie artist, if someone asked you, that you could actually tell them that would help you to further your music career? So at this point, you're thinking about, how can you further your career? So what would be an answer that you actually could give to someone if they actually asked you that question? Okay? And so I guess we can let that question soak in for a little while, and then we can come back and we can actually, you know, talk about that. So on the better side of the house tonight, I definitely want to come into our inspirational quotes for tonight. And for me, I actually have two. And the first one is, expose your heart. Only then can you connect with your audience at the deepest level. So in other words, really be honest, you know. Let the audience know what your feelings are, you know, so that way they know how to take you when you're actually up there performing in front of them.
I heard the word transparent.
Yes,
transparency. We try not to. I think as artists, most of us try not to do that. We think that this is personal now. Doggone it. I was trying to keep this quote from not being personal by avoiding the question at all costs.
Yes.
Is that the doorbell?
Oh, that's the doorbell. I think that's our next guest that's coming in, everybody. Okay.
What I was saying is this has become personal because I am, you know, I'm not going to get totally into my business, but I will say this. Come on in. Come on in.
Here's our next guest, Miss Jim Sparrow. Definitely.
Good to see you. Haven't seen you. Well, definitely good to see you.
Yes.
As I was saying, it's become personal to me because I didn't start out being an honest artist, I feel. When I first started, and I said this story a long time ago, is I wanted to be the kind of artist that made catchy tunes. Everything needed to rhyme. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, tree, me, C, B. Like was my first songs. I felt like they were very, very elementary. And it took me a while to finally tap into my true writing potential. And as I get older, as I go through things, and as I learn to be transparent on stage and in my life, my music takes that journey with me. Right. And the harder I try to push it back and say, okay, well, no, I'm going to continue to be the secret, because I think artists sometimes say, oh, I want to be the element of surprise. That's great if you're going to jump out of the cake or something. Yeah. But on stage, in order for you to get those core fans that'll ride with you to the day you leave this earth, you have to get down and nitty gritty. You got to get in there.
You do.
You got to sometimes say things that you're like, I think people are going to stop talking to me after I say this. But if it's how you feel and it's what's inside, then the true fans and supporters you have out there will hit you up and say, dang, man, that touched me, that helped me, versus you coming up with, you know, some lies or something. You know.
It's just what I've said before. It's just called being real.
Exactly. I like that, being real.
That's it. Okay, and my second piece of inspiration is rise every day, singing like the birds. It's scientifically proven that singing helps brighten your mood by causing your body to release endorphins and oxytocin. So those were two words, and I actually looked up the one that says endorphins. And that is a group of hormones secreted with the brain and nervous system having a number of psychological functions. So it's like making a connection, you know.
And is that the same thing for you, poetry-wise? What do you do with the rising and singing? I know you do sing too, but do you rise and recite? Because morning kisses, I promise you, morning kisses, it's like they hit me right at the right time. The minute I wake up, I don't know everybody. The minute I wake up, I automatically go to my phone. I turn it over, I look at it to see if I missed a call from my mom or something. And the first thing I see is Abah so Floetic tagged you, and I'm like, she better tag me in
and
this
you know what?
And
I need to start tagging people because I don't tag anybody, and I do my little inspirational
those kisses
quotes.
Come on time, bro.
You know, in my inspirational corner.
Yeah, start doing that.
But I just never tag anybody. I never think about tagging. I just, you know, put them out there and put it on there and everything. So, are you guys ready to share your inspirational quotes?
I don't really have a quote this time. I usually have something prepared, and like right now as an artist, like I said, my biggest struggle is just continuing on that path of transparency. I always want to be that transparent, and it gets very depressing and hard because I heard someone say that your personal life has to be on track. It has to be going in a good direction for you to truly tap into your artistry. And I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, well, I'm alive and I'm smiling. Does that mean I'm happy? It didn't really hit me until I started trying to write, and I couldn't. And it's more than just writer's block. It's actually, it's like something part of your mind says, okay, it's time to write. You know it's time to write, but your heart can't like make your hand do it. And people's like, that's not real. It is real. Yes. Because I've sat in front of a notebook for hours, and all I can come up with is my name, written by Tyrone, and that's it. Nothing else on that paper. But until I dove deep inside, and I said, okay, I know what I want to say, and I might be afraid to say it, but it needs to be said. So I go ahead and say it. And I'm reminded my interview that I did with Urbana Magazine. Like I said, I'm going to lose friends, followers, supporters, because I said some things in there that if I was in the mafia, they would have killed me as soon as I walked out the door. Because I don't want to say I gave away secrets, but I gave away some of necessary things that I think we as indie artists and artists all together, we try to hide.
Right.
You know, we try to hide. We say, you know, there's a golden bridge or a golden, you know, path that leads you to artistry, and it doesn't. We gotta fight every day
with
ourselves personally to get things out, and then we don't get support, so that makes us feel like crap. You know, you see people out there that record the stupidest things you ever heard in your life, and there's 2.6 million views and all kinds of comments, and then you get real poets and artists that post things and we get 10 views, 3 comments, 1 repost from the same thing.
I just downright out said that, you know, they just don't care about indie artists.
So
we're nobody
it's
to
difficult.
them. And it's about
transparent.
time that, you know, we start shining, you know, and that they start bringing us to the forefront instead of just acting like we just don't exist, or the only way we exist is if we have 1 million followers.
I just decided I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing, because Abah said something a while back where she said, even if you have like 1 or 2 people that are following you, that are following you, pay attention to you, just keep doing you, because at the end of the day, and don't get me wrong, a part of my brain wants to conform to what those other people are doing to get my music out there, sleeping around, you know, passing my money to the bookies so I can say, hey, put me on the radio. But I don't want to give up my morals like that, so I don't do that. So to you and me, and I'm Sister Abah, we got to keep pushing, even if we get 2 followers, 2 views, because
you know what? Social media, folks know how to cleverly manipulate social media. So even if they're not necessarily pressing like, and they're not giving you any kind of indication that they're paying attention, they are.
I remember that too.
So I mean, one of the things, I've met some really phenomenal people, influential people in this industry, and especially when I started Courses and Verses, but when I actually sat down to start talking business with them to bring artists to Courses and Verses and even to other things that I may be doing, one of the things that I've always stressed is that this is not about shine for me. Poetry is more than that. Writing is more than that. You know, I wake up right out of my sleep and put morning kisses out there, love notes, whatever the inspiration is. And whether somebody comes along and like that or not, I feel like I did what I was supposed to do. So it's not really about shine as much as it is about me walking in my purpose. And I think that no matter what type of artist it is, hip hop, poetry, R&B, whatever, if you know that you are purposed to do this, if you can't imagine yourself doing anything else but this, do it.
You have to, and that's the same way I feel about my music. When I write it for me. If I like it and it moves me, that's good enough for me. You know, and I don't know. I don't worry anymore about whether or not somebody else is liking it, you know, or whether I have a lot of likes on my page or not.
When it's not a priority, this is where you develop, because people, like you said, the transparency thing. When you are truly about purpose, that's transparent, because folks will detect that. They will know that you're not about a paycheck. They will know that you're not about a stage. They will know that you are not superficial. They will know that it's bigger. And so this is what actually brings it to you. Actually, all the stuff that you're not looking for. I don't know why I just thought about the story in the Bible about what is his name? He was oh God. He was David's son. And when was it Samuel? Wait, what was David's son name? Anyway, when he was becoming king, and there was 2 women that had babies, and one of them smothered the child. And when he came, when they had court before him, and he had to determine who was the actual mother of that child. You know, the woman who was not the mother said, kill the baby. But the woman who was the mother said, no, spare his life. You know, she can take him, just don't hurt him. And this is how he came to know who the mom was. And so when God asked him, what is it that you want? You know, tell me whatever it is, and I'll make sure that you have it. He said, just give me wisdom. I just want to be able to have wisdom to be able to govern the people accordingly. And God said, because you did not ask me for riches and fame and fortune, you get in that plus the wisdom.
Right.
And nobody ever will ever surpass you. And so that's what when it comes down to selflessness, when it comes down to service, because that's what happens when you operate in your purpose. Nothing else really matters to you but that. And so that's what makes it not superficial. And this is what increases the blessings. Yeah. This is what brings the audience. This is what brings the shine. This is what brings the money. But you can't be in pursuit of that. You have to allow it to come to you.
And that's true, because I mean, I've even heard, you know, some people say before that, you know, if you're doing something which you say is your purpose, but if you're only doing it and you're looking for the dollar signs,
right,
God ignores that.
Yes, he does. And
he doesn't act upon that. But if you're just doing it and you're doing it for your real reason, because you really love it, and you have to do it, then, you know, things will come about. It just takes time.
I agree
Definitely takes time. So that's my, you know, the inspiration I have. I mean, Abah, you have something else?
Well, no, other than just, you know, I've heard so much stuff this week until I still feel like I'm in a whirlwind. You know, I couldn't even begin to tell y'all things that I've heard this week. But what I will say, the thing that I have been reflecting on all day, you know, is love yourself no matter what.
Yes.
No matter what. No matter what the circumstances are, no matter how low you might feel, no matter how bleak everything may seem, no matter what it is, just love yourself regardless. Because contrary to whatever may be happening around you, nothing is really happening to you, but it's happening for you. Always. And so it may look like everything is coming against you. Everywhere you turn, there's fiery darts, there's slander, there's this and there's that, but it is all for a greater purpose. You know, yeah, I mean, even what's his name? I can't even think of the biblical people these days. Oh, Judas Iscariot. You know, we all know him as a traitor, but he had a purpose. He was supposed to betray Christ. Otherwise, there would have never been a crucifixion. There would have never been a resurrection. There would have never been salvation. He had to play that part. So whoever your adversary is, let them do their job. Let them do what they're supposed to do, because at the end you're going to rise. At the end you're going to end up where you're supposed to be. So let them do what they're supposed to do. Bless them. Don't curse them. Bless them.
Yes, that's one of the things that I was thinking about when you said bless them, pray for them. Amen. Because when you get to the point of doing certain things to other people, you know, that's the only thing that can help you is prayer. Nothing but prayer. Yeah. Okay. Well, now on the next side of the house, I have some indie news. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if y'all kind of even caught it, because I think out of the three of us, I think I'm the one that watched Fox 5 and TMC the most.
Yeah, so you are.
I just happened to be looking at, you know, I think it was TMZ if I'm not mistaken, and all of a sudden they got to this part of the news broadcast where they showed the picture of Chili of TLC, and so the caption was that TLC Chili herself, she was out promoting her album, the new album they had. But it was the way that she was out promoting it that they actually showed this. She was out in the parking lot of Best Buy, and she jumped up on somebody else's car, and she was holding up their new CD, and she was saying, go get it or something. It's there in, you know, in Best Buy. Well, then they didn't leave that alone after that. Then they went to another section of it where she went to a Walmart. And she walked in Walmart and she asked one of the sales associates, she said, can you tell me where can I find the TLC CD? And so in my head, I'm going, I know this lady got to know that this is Chili from TLC. But she just looked and she didn't say, she said, oh, sure, ma'am, I'll show you where it is. So then she was taking her to go and see where the album was. But I guess from that, my point is, would you go out and promote yourself in that way? Especially if you know you were, I guess I could say, a big artist. You know, is it coming to that now? That that you got to go out there and self-promote in that way in the parking lot?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with a parking lot. You know, I mean, you do what you feel like you gotta. I know a lot of authors, musicians that have made their mixtapes and had them, you know, in parking lots. I mean, I get trampled on in Walmart parking lot all the time. Say, sister, I got these 2 for $5. Say, sister, I got these 3 for $10. You know, so I mean, listen, child.
But I think my point was the way the media.
Oh, the way TMZ captured her?
The way they actually, you know, captured it in that way, you know.
Well, I mean, if Chili not giving TMZ no backlash, like, why y'all did this to me, you know, she clearly must be fine with it. Because if she would have felt demeaned or embarrassed in any type of way, I think you would have heard from her by now.
Right,
I think the fact that she's not really speaking on it means, you know, it don't mean nothing to her.
Right,
you know?
right. You're right about that. You're definitely right. But I just thought that it was just so funny.
I mean, I can see it being surprising because it is Chili, and TLC was like I mean, and they still are, to be quite honest.
But then they went into all their business after that. They went into, you know, well, them being out there and, you know, I guess their sales on their music had gone down way before. You know, they started taking it to the low end.
Well, that's what TMZ does.
Yeah, but I just thought that was a bit of indie news that we could kind of, you know, since y'all didn't see it. But it was really funny.
To me, I always associate TMZ with like the Inquirer and Star Magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they're on television, they're slander. They will jump on slander and they will spread that all around. And folks will pay attention to them because what was the term, Andre, when you co-hosted with me? What was that? It was pop culture mix. You know, they spread that all the time. And everybody is glued to that television, all caught up into the things that they're reporting. And it's not news.
Yeah, it's just like
foolishness.
Yeah, it's just like they were out there saying Britney Spears was gonna be at the next big game or whatever it was, and then they started saying after that no, that's not true. You know, so.
Yeah, I don't watch
it. All confuses me.
It does.
My thing
really
is, if I don't see the person who is about do a video, a live feed, or anything like that, I don't believe it.
Right.
Because I promise you, it's become a race to see who can get the ignorance out first.
Oh yeah.
Because I got a lot of friends on Facebook who will post stuff, and then 10 minutes later you get the real story, and it's like, dummy, if you would have waited 10 more seconds from trying to be the first one to put the ignorance out.
Because
instead of reading,
they do that.
The Chick-fil-A thing, when people were talking about something bad about don't eat Chick-fil-A anymore, and then an hour later, Chick-fil-A, I mean, the real story came out that was a lie, and it was posted by fools. But a lot of people reposted, and I'm never eating Chick-fil-A again. Stop believing in what you read the first time. Like, take some time to do some research before you start reposting garbage.
They were so eager to know about Beyonce's children.
Oh my God.
I can't even think of the original name, the first names, not the original names. The first names that they came up with, they said Blue Ivy named her brother and her sisters. And I can't even remember those names, but I saw it on Instagram, I think it was. And them children's names turned out to be Rumi and Seer.
Exactly.
But that's not the names that they originally said.
Right.
They said Blue Ivy named her brother and sister. And I'm like, these people are so desperate for news until they'll make up stuff. So,
that's what they do. But no. Behind the whole thing, Chili was having fun. Because she was actually, she said, after she was up there, somebody was telling her that the people were coming, whoever car it was she was on. She said, "They coming yet? Okay, bye." And then she took it down, you know.
Well.
But of course, you know, they blow stuff out.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, the next segment we're going to go into is our segment with Andre, which is the Indie Artist Spotlight. And I think tonight everybody is going to really like the artist that we're going to spotlight, because we've spotlighted him before, but it was on a sad note, and that is Mr. Brandon Rogers. And if many of you have not already actually seen the actual footage on America's Got Talent, well, Andre is going to tell you a little bit more about it.
All right, so our spotlight artist tonight is a childhood friend of mine, and I don't, this might sound a little rude, I don't care if anyone watching this post believes me or not, or needs to fact check or anything like that. I don't need it, and I don't care for it. I was blessed to know him before he became Dr. Brandon Rogers. I was blessed to know him before he got 2.4 million views for covering some of the most beautiful songs. I knew him before he became a YouTube sensation. I knew him when he was just a little guy like me when I was back then singing. We sang Silver and Gold. I remember it was in Oceanside, California, where we both attended St. John Missionary Baptist Church. His mother was the leader of the dance team in that church, a beautiful praise dancer. I mean, she taught my sister beautiful dances. I remember Danny Sr., Danny Jr., and also Christina, his sister. So I don't claim to have known him and contacted him and talked to him after he became the Brandon Rogers that you guys know, because that was my fault. I didn't stay in contact. I didn't pick up that phone. I didn't social media him. I didn't actually do like I said I was going to do, and that lived with me until the day that I pass and leave this earth, because that was a phenomenal guy. And you can tell that not just from past, but you can tell that when you go and you see his clips, when you talk to his mother, when you talk to his father, you all wouldn't be so distraught and hurt if he didn't touch your life. You all wouldn't repost the video. You all wouldn't put the rest in peace and rest in heaven if he didn't touch your lives. So I want to say that just to get that clear. And I want to also say this. He said, and you'll hear it in the interview, or you hear it on America's Got Talent, that the reason why he became a doctor was because he walked in one morning and saw his mother on the floor in a puddle of blood, and that made him want to help other people.
Awesome. And I know the first time I heard him.
Now, where do you find that? Like, where do you don't hear that. Right. No. You don't hear that. And he has and had the voice of an angel. And this might be pushing a little bit, but I don't believe that singing was his #1 passion. He wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to save lives in that way, and that's what he was doing. His voice, it couldn't be kept secret, because I would even try to do some of the things that he did when we were growing up. I was like, boy, I wish I could do the runs that you could do, because the stuff you doing hadn't been invented yet. The Clark sisters stealing your stuff, because you sound really good. Yeah. So I will say that to his mother and to his father and to his brother and his sister, the Robinson family, again, the Oliver family, we pour our hearts out to you with condolences. We know that you're excited and happy that Brandon was able to touch so many people, and that we hope and pray that we can do him justice in the afterlife and continue to repost his videos, continue to celebrate him on his birthday that's coming up in October, continue to, on the anniversary of him flying from earth to heaven, continue to celebrate that guy, because he was an amazing talent. He was an amazing doctor. He is just a presence. You get a presence when you speak to him or when you're around him, even when you hear this clip. Just something about it. And try your hardest not to cry, okay? So promise you're not going to cry. But on June the 11th, Brandon took his transition from this life to the other life, which is with the Lord.
So in other words, heaven has gotten.
They got another angel.
That's right. And
so they all singing up there. He up there singing with the rest of the heaven angels.
Definitely.
He was involved in a car accident where he was a passenger. The driver of the car had just come off of a long shift and was unable to stay awake. Yeah. They veered off and crashed into a tree. The driver reportedly pulled the passenger, Brandon and the other gentleman, out of the car. Now come on now, y'all. Yeah. He could have gotten out of the car and just said, forget them. Yeah. But he risked his life and went back in. Now sadly, Brandon did the next day, from what reports are saying, succumbed to his injuries and went on home to the Lord. But like I said, the thing we have to learn from this is that sometimes God does some things that we don't understand for reasons that we don't understand right now.
Right.
Yes. And
so he did this for a reason that we may not get right now, but eventually it will come out. And when it does, we'll rejoice even more because we, his parents included, and some people that he touched in his patience, they can say, I got to be in his presence.
Right.
You got to hear his voice. Some of them got cured and fixed and bandaged up by Dr. Brandon Rogers. You get to say that. You get to say that that man and that gentleman touched your life. He was 29 years old when he passed. And when I found out about it, it immediately hurt my heart. Not because, oh, my best friend and I miss all the times we had together. The first thing I thought about was, why didn't I stay in contact? Why didn't I try harder? Why didn't I live up to the expectations that I know I was raised to do? And I vowed that that day on, anybody that I've known, that I know, I'm going to try my hardest to make sure that I stay in contact with you, whether I get on your nerves or not. I want you to know that while you're here living, I'm going to give you your flowers. Because I don't want to come to your funeral and say, I should have, I could have, I would have. I want to come to your funeral rejoicing that I got to stand next to you, that I got to be a part of your life, breathe the same air that you breathe. So I'll say it again like everyone else says it is. Rest in heaven, rest in peace to Dr. Brandon Rogers. We're going to play his audition from America's Got Talent. And like I said, you'll be able to hear it. If you want to see it, go to YouTube, type in Brandon Rogers, it'll come up. And do me a favor, once you go in there, once you go in there and you watch it, share it on your social media page with the hashtag Brandon Rogers or rest in peace, rest in heaven. Something to let the world know that we lost an amazing artist. And I guarantee you, if he would have lived, he was going to be the next biggest thing. Y'all were going to see, he was going to see him somewhere on somebody's stage recording something. He was on that path. He was getting there.
Yeah, because he definitely had Simon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a lot of people can make Simon say the things that he said.
Right.
Like those America's Got Talent judges were happy. And shout out to Tyra Banks for reposting.
Yes,
Candy Burris reposted.
Yes.
Howie reposted.
He did, yeah.
Music Soul Child reposted.
Oh, that's great.
It's sad that it takes all that, but it's also a blessing because now other people get to know that some of these artists that we think are heartless, they have hearts. They care.
And the good part about it was they actually showed that an indie artist, which is what he was, actually matters.
It matters.
Yes,
so
definitely.
I'm going to play this clip for you. It's about 6 minutes long, but if you need tissue,
Hello, my mother.
Hello, my son.
I've been going in a little bit. I'm nervous.
You're going to do a wonderful, wonderful job. I know.
We shall see.
What's your name?
Brandon.
Brandon. Where are you from, Brandon?
I am from Portsmouth, Virginia.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a doctor.
Oh, what type of doctor?
Family medicine. My inspiration for becoming a doctor was kind of born out of a pretty tough experience when I was about 6 years old. I came home from school one day and I found my mom laying in a pool of blood. We rushed her to the hospital. The doctors were like heroes. They saved her life and it made me want to be the doctor that I am today. Shout out to you, Mom. Hey. I feel like I'm in a field where I'm actually making a difference. And there can be really tough days sometimes too. My way to cope with the stress has always been music. I'm about to sing in front of all of America. I can't even believe I'm here right now. This is... My patients, they're so supportive and excited. If I could find a way to combine being a doctor and medicine with music and singing, that would be a dream come true.
Hello. How are you?
I am nervous.
Oh, no, you're not. Okay, what's your name?
I'm Brandon Rogers.
And where are you from, Brandon?
I am from Portsmouth, Virginia.
Okay. And do you have a job there, Brandon?
I do. I am a doctor, actually.
Ooh.
Fantastic. How old are you?
I'm 29.
And what kind of doctor are you?
Family medicine.
Okay. What are you going to be doing here today?
I'm singing.
Do your patients know you're here?
The people I work with do. Some of my patients.
Do you ever sing to them?
I do.
Wow.
I don't think we've ever had a doctor actually on one of these shows.
Well, I'll be the first. I'll take it.
Okay, good luck.
Awesome.
Thank you.
This is not a coincidence, and for more than a lucky chance. But what is that was always meant is a ribbon in the sky for our love. Our love we can't lose. With God on our side, we'll find strength in each tear we cry. From now on, it will be you and I, and a ribbon in the sky, a ribbon in the sky. There's a ribbon in the sky for our love.
May he rest in peace, Brandon Rogers. Yes, 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 man, yes. Oh my God. And then he called his mom afterwards to let her know that he made it, you know?
Thank you so much.
Okay, let me go to Heidi.
The doctor is really handsome and the doctor can sing.
Well, thank you.
I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
There's something so special about your voice. It's working for me.
Okay, Mel.
You're good looking, tick. You can sing, tick. And the fact that you help people, tick. I think you're great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Howie.
You have real control and passion, and you can be a star. You spent so much time going down that medical road. I think it was a waste of time in schooling because you should be a singer.
Oh, no.
But it's good to have something to fall back on, I guess.
Got a point. Your vocal is stunning. Stunning. Actually, I want to say something. I've never said this before to a doctor. You're sick.
He said you're sick.
Really
Yes.
sick. You are one of the best singers we've had in the competition so far, I've got to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're going to vote. Howie.
It's a yes from me.
Mel.
It's a definite yes from me. Definite yes.
Heidi.
It's a yes from me too.
You've got 4 yeses.
Again, guys, cherish each day that you live. Make good of it, you know. Try to fulfill your dreams as best as possible. Don't let anyone steal your joy. Don't let anyone take you away from what you're doing. Because evidently you're on the right path if you haven't been stopped by now. So take it from Brandon Rogers and go on with it. Okay. Can we come back from that? Oh, God.
Great. You don't have to feel gloom. That
was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
And if you download that yourself or would you say tag yourself with that video, share it, then you can always go back and look at that and you will always remember who Brandon Rogers was.
Keep that in rotation.
Yes. All right. So I guess now what we need to do is
Party.
We need to play some music and get ready for our guests.
Okay, no drinks.
You know, and I guess while we do that, then we can get everybody ready. Okay.
Party already.
I don't know what I'm gonna pick, but I'm pick something and play it.
Turn up the volume.
Let's see, what is this?
Turn up the volume. This is our wonderful.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Oh, very fitting.
Yes, it is. Okay. Well, we're gonna call up our first guest for the night, and his name is Name a Trop Music. Yes. I'm gonna let you put in the middle here. Baby, I'm here for you. All I wanna do is dream with you. Okay, Miss Alpha or Eddie. Okay, alrighty. So thank you for coming out. And I have to say thank you to Abah, because that's where I first met you, at her show, Courses and Verses. And I thought you did a wonderful job that night. Thank you. Especially because you reached out to me. And you know, not many people will do that all the time. But I was very happy for that. And like I said, I'm very glad to have you on the show tonight with us.
Good to be here.
All right. Okay. So tell me, and your government name is how we say it, right?
It's Trop Music.
Yes. And you go by Matthew Johnson too.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. You said you were born and raised in Queens, New York. What was it like living in Queens?
Well, I could say like it was rough. You know, it was rough. You know, growing up. You know, trying to survive. You know, everybody was trying to, you know, come up. But I mean, it was tough. It was tough. You know, we had to, you know, go to school. It was rough in school. You know, fights and all that good stuff.
And that doesn't stop, because that's still going on here, everywhere. There's always, you know, fighting everywhere. In the schools and everything. As I was reading through your bio, I ran across this statement: man with multiple talents. Tell us about that.
That multiple talent, that means that, you know, I don't just do one thing. I like to
look at yeah, that's your audience.
You know, I'm talking to you. I'm looking.
Yes.
No, but you know, I like to try different things. I don't like to fear, you know, somebody come to you and say like, oh, you know, I don't like that conscious type of music, or I don't like the singing or whatever. I like to try everything. I don't like to just like be stuck in one category, you know.
But that's a good artist. You know, we have to realize that if we say we are an artist does many things, you know. So that's really good. Okay. Yeah. All right. You also said you're a writer. You do recording and you do producing. And I actually liked the track you sent to me the other night. That was cool. I really did like that. So did you create all that on your own? Okay.
Yeah, I actually like you know, cause I work, cause you know everybody have something outside. They
oh
work
yeah. Oh, we all have a 9 to 5. We got a 9 to 5. You know, we have to have that 9 to 5.
That's like my little downtime. You know, like when I come home, you know, I'm to myself. You know, so I'm like, okay, you know, let me use my mind and just come up with something. So like it might take a little time, but you know, I just put my all into it. Because you gotta have that certain type of love for music.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Nowadays, you got a lot of people that just put 2 and 2 together, like don 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 don, and that's it, you know. But you gotta put hard work into your music.
Yes.
Because that's the only way that you're gonna get, you know, people to relate off of what you do. You know, nowadays it's kind of hard because, you know, everybody love the club thing and the singing, which. And some parts is okay, but you know, you wanna be different. You don't wanna, you know, do the same thing. Just like they say, don't follow the crowd, lead the crowd.
That's exactly. And then you also said the other word, be different. You know, I've always heard other people say we don't want another Whitney Houston, we don't want another Bobby Brown, or or another Luther. We want somebody different, somebody that's bringing something different to the table. Because then that shows your creativity. I'm gonna let you talk to the audience more about how you became an artist.
Well, it all started for me like I know y'all know Alan Poe.
Yes, yeah.
Alan Poe, what's good, man? I know you watching, man.
Yes.
Yeah, but it all started when I was young. It was him, and it was his brother Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to come over his house, and then he usually DJs and plays and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to be the person to come over there and be like, I always see the snacks in the bag, and we play the video game. He's like, no, leave that alone,
Yes.
But after a while, I just kept listening to his music,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just kept growing and growing, and then he started getting new things, new equipment, started building up.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started writing for some reason.
In other words, he's a good mentor.
Exactly.
Great. Yes, I know. I like working with him as a DJ. He definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I started writing, and then I came across, I don't know how, but I just came across getting my own stuff, and then my mind just progressed with the music, and I just learned a lot.
Well, every time you put a pencil in your hand, or you even hear some type of music, the creativity will automatically start to flow, especially if you know what your purpose is.
Absolutely.
And as long as you remain focused on what your purpose is, nothing but great creativity will come out.
Absolutely.
Definitely, and I definitely would say, as long as you have that clear in your head that you're different, you want to make something different, you'll have lots of followers. Definitely.
And just like I heard earlier when y'all was talking on the show about, what makes you different,
That's it.
What makes you different?
Yes.
Like, what really makes you different? I think what makes you different is like, when you see, something that somebody wouldn't talk about, and you be like, you know what? I can't be afraid to jump on that type of subject.
That's exactly, and that's the word. Not be afraid. That's right.
If you want to talk about the stars and the moon, or you want to talk about just driving down the street on your day, going to work, or anything like that, you can't afraid to talk about anything that's real.
No, you can't, because when you want to talk about something that's real, you got to remember it either has happened to you or it's happened to someone you know, and you really want other people to grasp that, because you never know when there's somebody sitting there listening to something you say, and all of a sudden they go, man, he just helped me. He just got my thoughts all cleared up. Oh man, now I feel like I'm on top of the world.
Exactly.
You can't sit there and listen to somebody negative who will say, oh man, that stuff sucks, because guess what? While they telling you it sucks, they're taking in what you're saying and trying to make something out of it for themselves. So once you come up with your idea, you just have to stick with it.
See, and that's what we gotta realize the time we're in now. It's like, just like with social media, something happened with Beyonce or anything,
and it just goes viral.
Go and go and keeps going.
Yes, because it's somebody else's business, and everybody like gossip. They just want to hear what's the gossip.
Gossip.
That's it.
Nobody want to, let me talk about something and let's see if anybody else is gonna be like, oh yeah, that's great. That's everybody rather listen to what somebody else say.
Right. Right.
Which that's crazy.
Right. And I know with me, every time I'm thinking about something, I'm always thinking about how can I brighten somebody else's day. How can I make somebody, feel better.
Exactly.
Because if I don't, then what else am I gonna write about?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, though.
Yes.
You gotta lead. We don't have a lot of leaders anymore.
No.
Everybody's following each other.
Right, and since, you know, on the outside, besides singing, I'm a school teacher, so I always tell my students, you know, I have to lead you by example. You know, everything that I do with you, I have to show you how to do it. And if I show you how to do it, then I know you'll get it. But if I just throw it out there at you and I don't give you any examples and I don't show you, you know, in other words, if I don't stick my hand in the pie to show you, then you're not going to get it. Not at all.
For an example too, like there was a song that I made on my album, which, you know, is called the Takeover, which I'm working on that now. There was a song that I did. I think I had performed it at your show that day, but it was about my aunt. You know, a lot of people was telling me like, "Oh, you shouldn't put your personal stuff up there." And like, I don't think you should perform something like that. But you know, it's just something that I felt at the time.
You were right.
And
those people who, those people who are saying that, you know, that's those kind of people that want to sit there and say they're going to write about the club and ain't never been in the club, don't know what it's like to be in the club, you know. And I'm like, how in the world can you write about something that you haven't done? So whatever is on your heart, and that's the kind of writer I am, whatever is on your heart, write about it. It might take you a while to put it all together, but believe me, writing about something that's real will always touch somebody in some way.
Absolutely.
And that goes not just for singers, but it goes for poets. It goes for even people who write in books. You know, you don't want to read a book that's made up, that's not true. You want to read about something that's real.
See, and you know, that's one reason why, you know, a lot of people take, you know, rappers the wrong way. They think that, you know, when they hear hip hop music, oh, they're only gonna rap about guns, drugs, and you know, I can't say that other stuff.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah. Right.
But, you know, that's why, you know, it's so funny because like we always be stuck in this one category where everybody say like, I don't want to listen to that stuff. They don't talk about nothing anyway.
Right.
You know, but I think all forms of music, you could always be creative. You could always talk about anything.
You definitely can. And that takes me back to, we have the guest on the show, Shanray Price. And we were talking about, you know, whether or not gospel music influenced R&B music and things like that. And we talked about that for a while, and definitely that you know, was a part of R&B, because gospel music comes from the soul. So somebody that's a rapper, I always say, as long as you're rapping about something positive and people can understand it, and it's not like, you know, this mumble jumble stuff where folks don't know what's being said, you know. But I take what's his name, the other little guy, Unplugged, yeah, his music, you know, he's a rapper, and I enjoy his music. He was on the show the same time you were on there, so as long as you can understand what's being said, you know, that's a great thing.
I think that's the main thing that plays a fact is, you know, if somebody could relate to what you're saying. Maybe they're going through a terrible day, like, you know, it's been a hard day at work, and then they hear your song and it's like a motivation push.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
Or you go to the gym and you're like, I gotta work out, and then you hear the song,
you're pumped. That's exactly
that's what music is all about.
That's exactly that takes me to remind me of yesterday when you gave us the smoothie. Remember? And my husband said, wow, now I got energy. That gave me some energy, you know. So that's definitely.
So now, being that this song started with Alan in New York, what brought you to Atlanta?
Long story. No, but you know, I just, you know, New York is tough.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that New York is tough.
I lived there for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. You know, and then like, I just heard a lot of things about Atlanta, and like, oh, you should try it out. You know, it's different. It's, you know, the cost of living is better. You know.
Okay.
You know, but the jobs are, it's okay.
So when did you get here?
Well, I've been here for like think about 10 years now.
Okay. So around the same time I did, because I came in 07.
Yeah, and when I first came down there, I was like, why is everybody so nice?
Well, now, believe me, when I got to New York, I was the store manager of Wilson's Leather in the Galleria Mall in White Plains, New York. And I was opening my store one morning, and I was like, good morning, welcome to Wilson's. And everybody's looking at me like, you are not from here, are you? Because New Yorkers are not friendly. They don't greet like that. And I was like, welcome to Wilson's. How are you today?
Try walking in the city.
Yeah, oh, please. I already know.
Well, I've only been through there. I've only been through there enough to go through the airport, and that's it. You know, and learn about the fast drivers. That's for sure.
One thing about New York is, you know, it's just fun. It's fun to do stuff, but it's not good to live there.
Yeah. Well, I actually enjoyed my 5-year experience in New York, actually, and I miss it a lot from time to time.
Wow. It's fun.
I do.
What? Does she sound like she wants to go back?
I don't think I would live in the Big Apple again. I would visit though. I don't think I would live there again, but I definitely enjoyed it. I did, very much so.
It's definitely fun there. You know?
Well, can you actually tell the listeners where they can find you on social media?
Well, you could go on my website. It's called Arsenal Entertainment / no, actually, you could go on my SoundClick page. My SoundClick page is SoundCloud. There's so many.
It's believe me, you're not the only one. There's so many. Yes, it's a lot.
I was about to say, is this something new?
Well, that SoundClick, Andre brought that up the last time when we were trying to find the instrumental music. He said, I got it off of SoundClick. I said, SoundClick, what's that?
No,
I wouldn't be surprised.
But she said no.
There is a thing called SoundClick.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's so many social media. You be like, oh my God.
It is. I'm like, look, let's stick to Facebook and Instagram.
That's the only thing I'm sticking to.
Bless them.
Well, hell, I'm blessed.
Yes. Well, before we get you up there on the stage to perform, if it's one thing that you had to tell an up-and-coming indie artist about being creative or something like that, what would you tell them?
Well, what I would say is listen to yourself. You know, don't always listen to other people unless if it's something that's motivation, like a motivation push. That's all you need. Sometimes you just need a push. You know, you might be feeling like, I don't know if this is working out, but once you get that push and then you believe in yourself. Don't listen to people that put you down and say that, oh, I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't think that music sounds good. You gotta believe in what you want to do.
You gotta try it.
You gotta
just like you go to the store, and try on a pair of shoes to see if they fit or to see if they look good. You gotta try out that music and see if that's for you. Right. But the biggest thing, always remember, and I tell it to everybody, stay confident.
Exactly.
That's what you gotta do. Like Layla Hathaway say, let the mirror be your friend. Get up in the morning, look in that mirror, tell yourself, today I'm gonna be as confident as possible, and I'm gonna love myself.
Yes.
Because it's got to come from deep within you in order for you to be able to let it show on the outside.
Exactly.
So. Okay, well, while we get ready to get you ready for your performance, I have your music that you sent to me. Is that the one you're gonna do? Okay.
Well, it's actually something new that I did, but I could do it.
Okay, is that the one you want to do?
Well, I could do something else too as well. But that's brand new, so I didn't have no time to actually.
Right. Well, the one you sent me was the good version.
But I can do that one. Though.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you get up and move on out so you can get yourself situated.
The mic is up real loud. Yeah. What's going on? Yeah.
Myself. I'ma find myself, no matter if death calls, I'ma find myself.
Yeah. Always gotta find yourself.
Yeah. Lately so many things happen, it feels like life changed on a different aspect. The world's so fucked up with war. When you kill a kid, you can't settle the score. Back at the cemetery when the rain pours, I had a dream that my grandma was still alive and soars. Like a wound deep inside my heart, if the cut was deeper, it would rip the heart apart. When I'm looking in the mirror, it's just like looking out the window. But if I could see stuff clearer, I would see more stuff that I wouldn't know. Nowadays you're not accepted for who you are, but it feels like my heart is the same as the car. My body's the car, my heart is the engine. I'ma keep pushing hard, you think I'm not winning? I'ma find myself, no matter if death calls, I'ma find myself. I'ma find myself, no matter if death calls, I'ma find myself. I'ma find myself, no matter if death calls, I'ma find myself. I'ma find myself, no matter if death calls, I'ma find myself. They say when you get older you die young, but I still got the strength to push for it. Backstabbers, I ain't got the time for it. Time is ticking, who's pushing the time for it? They say a man like me is not worth nothing. Why? Just because I got the blessings on my skin? Cause I got the mind power of 10 men within? Cause I got the bloodline of a man worth winning? My mother told me to never give up. No matter if the wall's falling, you can't get up. I'm pushing rocks off of me, I'm still stumbling. So hot like a kettle when it starts bubbling, until the water dry out and there's nothing in it. Critics put me down. It's crazy life, yo, I'm still stuck with it. Never show my fake image, I put the truth in it. I'ma find myself, no matter if death calls, I'ma find myself. I'ma find myself, no matter if death calls, I'ma find myself. I'ma find myself, no matter.
Okay, that was an awesome song. Although we know we can never tell when there's going to be some kind of technical difficulty or whatever, but that's okay.
It's okay.
You made it through with the song. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure that my audience enjoyed it as well. You're definitely welcome to come back. Anytime you create anything, just come on back and share it with us. Okay. And again, if you'll repeat your social media information to everybody.
Well, it's SoundCloud/Metropolis. Make sure y'all look for that. MATROPOLIST. Just look me up. I got all my music on there. If you want to hear anything, just go on there. I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere.
Okay. Mr. Andre Tyrone, you didn't have an opportunity to ask him any questions. Would you like to say anything? Ask him any questions about anything?
I don't necessarily have any questions, but just stay strong and continue to keep pushing, because like I said, as indie artists, we get knocked down a lot.
Yes, we do.
We get kicked a lot. We get ridiculed. We get put on the spot sometimes. We are under a microscope, just like the mainstream artists. Mm-hmm. And it can deter you from your path and what you're here to do. And like Abah said earlier, that no matter what anyone else says or anyone else comes at you with, that as long as you stay the course, and you let them do their job, which is to hate on you, it'll eventually come around and you'll do what you're supposed to do. So I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like, we really, really do. And thank you for letting us share your talent.
And definitely, you have to let everybody know that as an indie artist, you matter. Yes. Your voice matters. You have to definitely let them know that. Mm-hmm. So, look out there at that camera and let them know that you matter.
Yo, guess what? It's music. It all matters.
That's right. Thank you. Nice to have you. All right. Okay, all right. Okay, we're now gonna get ourselves ready for our next guest that's gonna be coming up. And while we wait for our next guest coming up, we're gonna play some music right quick to transition.